Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I think we're live. Hi, everyone. I'm Professor McCoy. Welcome back to Hogwarts Legacy. Here we go. First things first, I should let everyone know. I am on the very tail end of some rather debilitating illness. Nothing too extreme, just I believe what seems like some kind of flu that really just got to me last week into this weekend. Um,
I don't
I'm
have anything for this at the moment.
feeling much better though. I'm mostly all fine, mostly, but not quite. So if my voice is still a little bit shaky here and there, if I take a moment to cough, well, I apologize. Best I can do. Let's grab a couple of mandrakes. Will do. Anyway, let's begin with by checking in on our beasties, seeing how they're all doing. Shall we? A unicorn. Multiple unicorns. A little golden unicorn. Oh, that's delightful. That is delightful. There's Hazel. Okay. Anyway, so it is about the end of the semester for me. It's I've just finished submitting grades. I'm all done with basically all there is to do for the semester. I'm all just about set. I'm generally pleased as well with how things went. Although I'll say I am, as is often the case, a tad bit disappointed by the strangeness that I've talked about before, both on stream, off stream, and other contexts all around. There's a kind of strangeness to the grade distributions that I often find. This is particularly not quite exclusive to St. Leo in that sense, but it is it's a trend that has been more or less universal, and I've heard other professors speak of something like this as well. So it isn't exclusive to my university or to my classes, but I think my university does have a relatively extreme version of this trend that there has been, I think, more and more of a split between the excellent and the awful, between, roughly speaking, A's and F's. Now, it's not a strict bifurcation, but there are more A's and F's than anything else. Certainly, it's certainly not a sort of standard distribution, a bell curve kind of thing. In fact, looking at all of my classes taken together, I actually did look at some statistics and charts and things. It is a nearly inverted bell curve, with C's being the least common. A's are probably the most common because, again, my it's an intro class. My intention is not for it to be difficult. In fact, as I've told my students before, if you fail my class, it's because you didn't do the work. It's not because you did it poorly, it's just you didn't do it. You did not try. I will say that this record has not changed, that no one has ever failed one of my intro classes, who has turned everything in and not plagiarized. And so that record stands. I've still never failed anybody who turned everything in and did not plagiarize anything. So, Which are bouncy little puffballs. Oh, happy. Oh man, I forgot to pitch it. Here we go. But yeah, it's I'm in a sense, I'm rather pleased by all the people who did spectacularly well, because there are a lot of people who did very well. And by that, I don't simply mean by assessment either. A lot of people did seem to learn quite a lot as well, just looking off of their presentations and their the various modes of assessment, the actual stuff that I do to make sure that they did well. So I am actually quite pleased with by how a lot of my students have done, the ones who care and pay attention and actually try. But on the other hand, there are a lot who don't. You know, No Thanks says, what percent should fail if they did everything? If they did everything, I'm not sure what you mean by should here, in terms of, like, normal distribution kind of thing, or do you just mean in my class? What are my expectations? Because my expectations are 0% should fail if they did everything. Or even if they attempted everything. Because this is not one of those knockout classes. The intention of this class is not to fail people. It is not even to sort the really high effort, high intelligence students from the incompetence. It's not one of those, usual physics or chemistry classes, that sort of thing. It's not that. For my class, my intention is that 0 should fail. And if they do, it's entirely because they didn't try hard enough. Now, there are classes where the intention for that is much higher. The intention is that you should not only have to just try, but you should actually have to do well. You should actually have to have a really solid grasp on difficult material, right? In those cases, the fail rate could be much higher. Your average class, your average fail rate for students who try, for students who actually, turn stuff in and whatnot, I believe it should be, going off of the normal distribution, it should be something like 1.5% Fs. So that is assuming a class of my size, because I have, between 3 classes, I have about 80 students. I should have, if this were, a normal difficulty class, I should have maybe 1 F. I should have a few more than that in terms of D's, because it should be 3 to 4%, I think, something like that. As far as if I'm looking at if I'm envisioning correctly in my mind, a normal distribution curve. But that also should realistically mean that there should only be maybe 1 A, which is not the case. Again, like I said, my distribution curve is almost inverted, which is, I know why. I know exactly why this is the case. And it's not because I make the class very, very easy, which I do. I do very intentionally make this class easy. It's supposed to be. It's an intro class. It's a gen ed requirement, and part of the whole point of the class is to introduce non-specialists to a complex topic in a straightforward way. Right. And so my intention for the class is not for it to be very difficult. And so the distribution should look more like what probably the best grade distributions I ever wound up getting, my closest to normal distributions, were in my my USF close to intro classes. Not quite this level. They would be about the equivalent of a 2000 level course or so. What I was teaching there, because it was a critical thinking class. What I would teach them at USF, that was first of all public university, big research-based public university, and then second of all, it is yes mostly for non-majors, but it's not a sort of gen ed requirement. It counts as it counts as a general education credit, but it isn't required for graduation. Whereas ethics, what I'm teaching right now, is required at St. Leo for graduation, which is a very good thing. Very good. I absolutely think that it should be. But let me see. Let's go. Main story quest. Let's go for it. We're actually going to fast travel. But yeah, it's man, I'm gonna have to unlock a lot of these flue flames. Let's set a waypoint there, and let's go here. Let's just loop around and unlock a bunch of these flue flames. But anyway, yeah, it's my best grade distributions were probably at USF when I was teaching critical thinking, back in 2015 to 17. That range of time. Was when I had a more or less normal distribution, just shifted up one. So the majority were Bs. The majority of my students were Bs. I had about as many A's as I had C's. And then I had the weird outliers who were like 100%, and the weird outliers who were D's and F's, who mostly didn't try. I did have a few people in those classes who did fail without just not trying. They actually did the work, but still failed because they did it really poorly. That was the exception there. They were very rare cases, though. For the most part, failures in even those classes were because either someone literally did not try, or due to plagiarism. Yeah, that was it. That was it. As for this class, like I said, my goal for it is to get people to at least familiarize with themselves with the material. And I will say, I'm actually very proud of my course design, despite this really weird quirk where I have a lot of Fs. I'm actually rather proud of my course design, because I think I have successfully made it so that you cannot pass the class without doing the readings. Like I think I actually have it set up properly so that you cannot pass the class without doing the readings. Interesting.
Bombarder.
Won't open. Okay, let's do this the silly way, shall we? Oh, I can't enter one map. That's dumb. Okay. Heck was that?
Rebellion.
Huh. There. Easy peasy.
Accio.
Anyway. But yeah, it's
Levioso.
Oh, that's how you're supposed to do that. Okay, whatever.
Incendio.
Okay. Because, I mean, you are, for a class like this, because it is a graduation requirement, it is actually a required class. You have to take it. If you're at St. Leo and you're going to graduate, you need to take this Intro to Ethics class. Which, huzzah! I really like that. I have no problems with that at all. But at the same time, it means that it has to be, to some degree, passable by anybody. You know?
Accio.
And I mean anybody. Anybody who should be able to graduate from St. Leo should be able to do fine in this course, which is
Leviosa.
I mean, it's not like an A-rank school. It's not a super prestigious school. So, you know, it being passable by college standards, relatively, I hate to say low caliber because that's unfair, but by lower than college average students, put it that way,
Accio.
it shouldn't be very hard, right? I don't intend to make the class all that difficult. At the same time, I do want to make the class such that it does need to be that you do actually need to put in some degree of effort to do okay. Yeah, fundamentally immoral people. Well, first of all, I don't know how prevalent such a thing is.
Lumos.
In my experience, it's not that prevalent.
I didn't have an audience.
There are some cases of students who are not fundamentally immoral, but I would say are pretty thoroughly ideologically captured. I think that is the greater problem. I think ideological capture is the greater problem rather than just simple, outright personal immorality. That said, that is a problem on occasion. That in a lot of cases, some students are just... How do I put it? They're of that very unthinking, I guess, unthinking relativism, the kind of thing. The sort of standard way of thinking poorly that is often done by sort of modern people today, where it's very common.
I'll check your pockets after you're dead.
But it is also almost entirely my objective as a teacher to get people to think more clearly than that, to think better than that. Right. So I
Levioso. Accio.
oops.
Defendo.
There we go. Was there another one? Yeah, there's another one. All right.
Levioso. Defendo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like I said, while that is possible, I try very hard to shake people out of that, and I mostly succeed.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
You've made a mistake.
I would
Curiosity
qualify
leads you to
somebody
Hogwarts.
like
One in Berlin.
a Satanist or the
Levioso.
Your life ends here. Shame.
Accio.
Fringo!
Incendio.
Fringo!
Restomo.
Confringo!
Potato.
Reckon you've got a future.
and you fell into the water. All right. Anyway, yeah, I would say that that is, first of all, the like Satanist, the anti-moralist, the almost nihilist, that sort of thing. Not nihilist exactly, but the bad type of Nietzschean, the guy who read Nietzsche in when he was 14 and took it the wrong way, that kind of kid, is shockingly uncommon. I think we tend to think of that sort of person as far more common than they are. We make them into a sort of boogeyman. Just throw everything at this guy. Can you do the work and pass? It's
Rest easy, my large friend.
pass, yes. Do well, no. I can say this pretty directly that the closest kind of people I've gotten to this sort of thing are it's more likely where I will get not the sort of anti-moralist. What's more common is I will get the outright emotivist type, which is honestly really the punching bag for my semester anyway. Is the emotivist type. But I've gotten a few people who hold to that sort of thing, or have a really inverted sense of morality. Those tend to be the more Marxist types, honestly. But they have passed,
Off
but
on
not
another
done well.
adventure, are we?
Because let me put it this way: if somebody gives like a straightforwardly wrong answer,
Protego.
like an unethical answer, somebody giving an unethical answer is going to give them some credit for the assignment, right? So if somebody, for example, I did have a student who this semester basically was putting forward some very straightforwardly bad ideas. Decided to do a case analysis on the Israel-Palestine conflict, and basically just took Palestine's side, not in the total or in the abstract, but rather took Palestine's side in the sense of arguing that October 6th was not was ultimately justified, or that it was it was essentially not a war crime, which is just obviously false, right? That's obviously wrong, and that's obviously heinous, and their rationale for it was particularly bad, because their rationale for it was entirely based upon the very Marxian categorizations of big guy bad, little guy good kind of thing, right? And oh wait, no, not that. Yeah, no, that's right. That's my usual setup. And so he did poorly on the assignment, but he still did get partial credit for it. And a lot of the assignments are read and take notes on the readings. And you can understand what the readings say, even if you
Predictable.
ultimately and foolishly disagree with what the readings have to say, right?
You only have Ranrock to blame.
I mean, it's just like in a math class, how you can, in fact, get enough of the questions right while disagreeing with the fundamental theory involved. Wait, you what? You hacked all the Arab communications and get kicked out? You what? Oh, in your simulation. Oh, okay. That's that's a bit less absurd than I was thinking. Oh god. Oh, that was close to bad. Thanks, Broom. You've saved me. I mean, listen, abusing the situation is honestly, it sounds to me like par for the course for a war game. Listen, it's a war game. Isn't that the whole point? Is to, act uncooperatively with the opponent?
Say one of my own.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm not an IR guy.
How nice to see you, my young friend.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, it's It was one of those things where this guy made several of these unforced errors, a lot of which were just distortions, dishonesties, and just making the wrong ethical judgment, just the obviously outright wrong ethical judgment, based on flawed theory, etc., etc. And he did poorly, but he did pass. So, and again, like I said, he passed because he did the work for the course. I think he went up with like a C, which isn't good. And getting a C in a Gen Ed class is going to do nasty things to your GPA, but yeah, he doesn't have to retake it. Even though maybe he should. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, wrong moral decision. Arguing that the attacks on October 7th were not terrorism. That is the wrong evaluation. It's really straightforward. There are other... Oh god, what was the other one? I forget what some of the other ones were that either he did or some of my other students did, that they outlined something as just straightforwardly wrong.
Who's that? No. What's going on out there? You explain the stench.
I mean, for another example,
I won't rest.
arguing in favor of euthanasia. Particularly on the basis of autonomy, right? That's straightforwardly wrong, right? And there are really solid reasons to be opposed to. Oop! Ouch! There are really solid reasons to argue against euthanasia, even from an autonomy perspective, simply because the decision to kill oneself cannot, in principle, be a rational decision, a decision made in one's right mind. And so arguing in favor of euthanasia on the basis of patient autonomy or informed consent or whatnot is necessarily wrong.
Bring me a dozen humans to battle. I'll take them all. Run the other way when they see me, humans.
And again, you can do a reductio on this by pointing out that we have such things as, quote, suicide prevention. So this is the go-to thought experiment that I'll run students through, that forces them to think a little bit, is so if we for example, you look like more of a threat than you otherwise would be. There we go. So for example, right, so go after the idea of euthanasia.
Enjoy suffering, do you?
Oh, there you are.
Accio. Incendio.
There we go. The idea of euthanasia in terms of a choice being made by a patient. Right? If we were to say that we should allow doctors, qua doctors, to aid patients in choosing their own death, and choosing to kill themselves, essentially. Which, boy howdy, I really shouldn't be talking about this in the first 30 minutes of a YouTube video, but whatever. I'm doing everything that the algorithms tell me not to, but whatever, I don't care. I'm not monetized, it's fine. Anyway, if we think that it is all right for a doctor to aid a patient in their stated goal of killing themselves, the question arises: why? What morally differentiates that from the parallel case of, rather than a doctor, a gun store owner? So, patient A goes into the doctor and is in serious pain, yada yada yada. The whole all of the various reasons for there you go. All the various reasons for wanting to end his own life. Oh, ouchies.
Up for a bit of dying, are we? You won't get...
Right, and so he's got all of these various reasons for wanting to end his own life. These reasons may even seem legitimate. He's in incredible pain, etc.
Protego. Confringo.
And so if we would say that the doctor would be justified in say giving him the morphine overdose that would lead to his death, we have to ask the parallel situation if morbid patient A, or same person, were, instead of to go into a doctor's office, were to go into a gun show and talk to a guy at a gun store. Gun show, gun store, either way, it doesn't matter. Talk to a guy at the gun store, and talk to the guy behind the counter and say, instead of saying, hey, I would like to buy some morphine, hey, I'd like to buy a shotgun and one shell. Morbid as that is, we recognize this for some reason as being a darker situation, maybe. But that's only because we have this weird instinct to think of things as being okay if they're clinical. Right? And that we think that medicalizing nasty things makes them less nasty. Right? And so I had a lot of people saying, well, it's a lot messier, and so we shouldn't allow that to happen. I was like, well, yeah, we don't allow that to happen. That's illegal. If a guy goes into a gun store and says, hey, I want to end my life, can you sell me a shotgun? They are legally required not to sell to you, and are, in most states, legally required to report you to the authorities. Right? And so that's a legally mandated reporting kind of situation. Right? Why do we care about suicide prevention if we're also going to, do a Canada and encourage people to accept medical aid in dying? Whoops. It's illegal to self-delete under some circumstances. Under some circumstances, you can legally ask for the assistance of a medical professional. And that's not just in Canada, that is in some situations in the US as well. And so it's one of those weird things where we think that, yeah, something could absolutely be illegal unless it's medicalized. Which, I mean, we'll do the same thing with a lot of drugs, too. We think that opiates should be, meaning people who don't think opiates should be illegal unless they're medicated. We think about this in prescription medication just in general, and there's some justifications for that. Though not good justifications for prescription medications being illegal otherwise. Oops. There we go. Anyway. All right, let's see what Sebastian's up to over here. I don't know. It's pretty nice. Aside from all of the bandits and goblins and stuff, it's pretty nice.
I received your owl. Thank you.
I'm glad you came. I spotted droves of Ranrock's loyalists coming up from the coast. Overheard one of them say they're headed to another cavern, like the one we found.
No,
How are
it's.
they
I mean,
still one
look.
step ahead of us?
Can't
know about the trip
it's heavy enough for
I
me
don't
just
know.
because I've been talking about this stuff for the last
I did see another memory.
few weeks in class. Anyway,
This time, it was a keeper named Neve Fitzgerald.
this is how
She was unnerved by his
philosophers
use of ancient
always
magic.
talk. If we're not talking
I
about
still
self-deletion,
can't be
then
sure
we're
how
talking
any
about
of it connects
Nazis.
to Ranrock.
So
These keepers are
gotta be
playing
one or the
games
other.
with you. You need to press them for more information.
It doesn't work like that. To access each of these memories, I have to complete a trial. It's not as easy as you think. They're showing me the memories in a particular order. They...
Oh, either they don't trust you, or you don't care enough about Anne to ask the difficult questions.
Excuse me? You're going a little crazy here, Sebastian. Maybe you should take a break.
I do care about Anne, but I'm tired of explaining myself. Perhaps we should part ways.
That's not what I meant. We're just not getting answers. I need
That's what I
answers.
thought.
For Anne.
I know. Now, shall we see why the triptych led us here?
Let's go, quickly, before we're spotted. Keep a close eye out. I saw some of Ranrock's crew moving off the path just ahead.
I wonder why.
Raiding, I imagine. This mountain used to safeguard local hamlet valuables. But it's been abandoned ever since Ranrock took hold of the coast.
Sebastian's got this issue. He's, I mean, I don't know if it's too specific, but he's incredibly intense.
Leviosa!
Oh, jeez.
Accio! Incendio! Protego! Stupefy!
One less human.
All of Ranrock's loyalists deserve the same fate. Nice work.
Like I said, pretty intense. But I mean, he gets intense with you, his good friend, as
Thestrals
well.
overhead. Some consider them a bad omen.
Not everyone does.
What's this?
I know that.
All right.
I'm making small talk. I'm not going to trek up this mountain in silence.
There's a bunch of chickens. Are they omens? All right. What was that? Did anyone else see the weird shimmering barrier?
I bet the Thestral nest is close by.
I know I'm supposed to go up there, but there's also Thestrals over here, as well as some other stuff. I could catch a Thestral. I'm not gonna. I have
I'm sorry we
few.
can both see Thestrals.
It's certainly not something I'd hoped we'd have in common.
Oh, okay. I go. Whoop. And then. Whoop. There's that.
Revelio.
There's another one. Hi there, Thestrals. Don't mind me. Okay, so if I flip it, like,
Flipendo.
nope, like that, no. Oh wait, I get it. Maybe. That did it. Okay, there we go.
Revelio.
Where is the last one? Up there. Okay. Okay. Bird. Huh.
Flipendo.
Harp. Okay, so the harp needs to go. And then I gotta rotate it this way. There we go. Nice. I still say there were some really fun puzzles in this game. All right. Okay. These are neat, but they're also rather simple compared to some of the others. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Here we go. I'll say as well, on the note of going back a bit to the note of class difficulty or lack of difficulty. I have so my grades are out of 1,000 points. Right, 1,000 points is 100%. The oddity of it,
Wait,
and
we
the
should have some sort of plan.
yeah, mess them up.
Are you quite finished, that intruder?
Why can't I hit you?
Defendo.
Too slow.
Incendio.
Almost.
Accio.
An utterly pitiful display.
You're making this too easy. Rather unwise coming back.
Bombardo.
Your spells glance off of me.
You won't get away with that.
Confringo.
Unforgivable.
They got what they deserved.
Okay.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking about dead goblins,
You could have.
I mean, I'm the one who burst in,
but
so
I didn't. Looks like Ranrock's loyalists were heading further up the path.
oh
Let's
well.
keep going.
Anyway. Oh gosh. But yeah, so part of my strategy, I have 1,200 points available, which is the equivalent of an extra 200 points that are that like over and above what are required for completing the course in terms of additional assignments. So the way I lay this out is that students can choose which assignments, right, which readings to do notes on. Actually carefully read and take notes and do that sort of thing. In part, that means that they can take notes on just half the readings. What this also means, though, is that they can that they can, instead of, say, taking notes on half the readings rather than all the readings, they can still take notes on all of the readings and just have an extra 200 points sitting around, which means that they can do poorly on some other things, or even not turn in some other things. Part of what that does for me, for my students at least, what I'm open to do there for my students is to some degree to allow them to choose what they prioritize and how. But at the same time, because the reading notes are such a large portion of the class and it's all of their extra credit, they are incentivized to read a bunch. And so this is why I said that it's basically
Ranrock's gonna
impossible.
make everyone pay.
Basically
Anything made from
impossible. Not
goblin
completely
silver
impossible.
belongs
Basically
to us.
impossible
Whether it's a sword or a repository, whatever
for
that
anyone to pass the class
hear
without
that,
actually
Goblin?
doing
Ridiculous.
all or most of the readings. And that actually does track. The people who fail because they don't turn things in, most of what they don't turn in are the reading notes.
Over here.
And the assignments they do turn in are pretty poor.
All of Ranrock's loyalists deserve the same fate.
What do you mean?
Nice
Yeah, I may have misspoken there. Right. So they do need to do all of... Basically, they need to do all of the readings in order to pass. I mean, again, that isn't strictly mathematically necessary. If they don't do any of the readings, they can still technically pass with... They can still get 80%. Technically. But realistically, no, they won't.
Lumos.
Realistically, they're not going to get 80%. Or anywhere close to it. Without doing the readings. Dear resident chicken coop inspection. Illegal breeding of basilisks. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like the idea that someone is breeding basilisks back here behind some devil's snare. That's not good. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Course design is
Wizard Ranrock's
a
got
very
that
careful
right,
art form.
and I'll be most keen to help him achieve his goals in that regard.
Incendio. Defender.
I won't rest.
Ow, really?
Levioso.
I shall avenge your death.
Accio. Incendio.
This must be it.
Sebastian.
All right, let's see.
Wait. For what?
It's similar in a respect to
Why are
game
you
design,
suddenly
really.
so cautious.
Listen to me.
The difference, of course, being is that course
Frustrated.
design is not really something that
Charging
most
ahead
people
now can
learn.
undo all the
At least
progress we've made.
not most
Like
professors.
Doc said,
Oh,
We don't like. I never
God,
took an
my
education
friend,
class.
Stop it. That's enough.
This is just something that I've
Not all
learned
goblins are like Ranrock.
from colleagues via
I
osmosis.
am not the enemy. We want the same thing. To find answers.
And of course, some of my
I
own
thought
research,
we wanted the
external
same
research
thing.
has gone
We
into this.
do. Listen to me.
A lot of it, like I said, is experimentation too. I'm going to be implementing some
He
changes
told
into
me
my
that
syllabus for
Ranrock
next
somehow
semester
knows
as
about
well.
the keepers and is searching anywhere connected to each
Since
of
last
them.
semester, I
That's
pared
why
down
they
some of
always seem to
my
be one
sort
step
of
ahead.
supplemental readings. So I
I
did
know
fewer
what I'm
readings
doing.
this semester than last,
You need to trust me.
which I think
don't see
turned
that
out
we can
better.
Continue together.
fine. I'm sorry. I'm letting my emotions get the better of me,
Yeah, you should know better than that.
and I have been for a while.
Stop having
I do
emotions.
trust
This is
you.
England.
And I don't think I can help Anne without you.
Good. Ranrock clearly knows more than we thought. We need to be careful and do this right, not just go charging in. We have our work cut out for us. We need to work together if we're going to find the final piece to the triptych.
Agreed.
All right.
I'm famished. Who's that? Such arrogance. No!
Descendo.
Yeah.
All of Ranrock's loyalists deserve the same fate. Nice work.
That's very harsh. Although, I mean, at least he's not saying all goblins deserve the same fate. Could be worse. Could be much worse. This is a shortcut. We already went around it the long way, so let's not. But yeah, like I said, it's excuse me. Course design is very much an art form. There's a lot that goes into the planning.
Safe travels, my young friends.
Like I said as well, so one of my major assignments this semester is 6 total case analyses. So I'm having my students do written analyses of ethical cases. These can be from anywhere. So this can be from fiction. This can be from their own life experience. This can be from the books. This can be from the news, from history, whatever. But they're giving a careful analysis of the ethics of a situation.
Spiders. How
Yeah.
fitting.
Yeah, naturally.
Bringo.
Taken care of. But yeah, it's been good.
Levioso. Imperio. Defendo. Descendo.
Crucial.
That's not my attention. Bombarder.
Almost as good as if I'd done it myself.
So the 5 standard case analyses plus a 6th one, which what they're doing is they're having ChatGPT or some other AI write an analysis for them, and they're responding to it, they're analyzing it. Part of the reasoning for that is I want them to be familiar with the technology, but also to know that I'm familiar with the technology, so they don't, abuse it. But that assignment is already getting to the point of being passé, and so I'm going to phase that one out. I'm also going to edit. I'm going to change the standard 5 analyses. Because then the idea is they're going to take one of their 5 analyses and they're going to do a presentation on it, going that next step instead of just
3 nudges at least.
instead of just analyzing the case and saying exactly what was going on. They are then going to for the presentation. What they've done is they've actually they've passed a moral judgment. They've said what is right, what is wrong about the situation. That's not something that they are meant to do in the case analysis.
Determined to make a meal of us.
I'm sure we taste better than a goblin dinner.
Defendo.
Oh, I've attracted attention.
Incendio.
No, wait.
Confringo. Leviosa. Glacius. Confringo. Confringo. Leviosa. Glitego.
Yeah.
Defendo.
Ow.
Confringo. Confringo.
Annoying little beasts, aren't they?
Little is not the word I'd use, but okay. Anyway, so yeah, I'm planning on changing these slightly. Instead of just having 5 case analyses,
A staircase leading here.
as they had been,
I don't think anyone's been here for
as I'd been
ages.
doing them, what I'm going to do is I'm still going to have 5 leading into one final presentation, but I'm going to do it in a more step-by-step manner. Right? So instead of just having 5 of the same type of thing, then they're going to present on one of them. What I'll do is I'm going to have 3 case analyses where they're doing exactly what they did for this assignment, right? Where they will just lay out all of the morally significant, morally relevant details.
Bombarder.
And then of those 3, they will take 2 of them. So they'll do 3 initial ones, 3 initial analyses, and then they will take 2 of those and
Look at this
give a moral
place.
judgment.
Not really my style. A bit much, if you ask me.
Crucio. Sendo. Confringo. Defendo. Levioso. Accio.
Get the...
Levioso. Levioso.
Fine.
Crucio. Bombarder. Fringo. Descendo. Defendo. Incendio.
Getting
There we
through
go.
the cavern can't have been the only challenge. Perhaps we should search for runes.
We've seen rune symbols like
Incendio.
these before.
Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, instead of having it be 5 of the same case analyses, I'm going to do 3 case analyses, 2 case evaluations, and then one presentation. So I'm going to do a sort of 3-2-1 stepped format where they're going to do 3 of the thing that they did this semester. So 3 case analyses, give all of the morally relevant details. Take 2 of those 3 after getting some feedback, and give an evaluation, give a judgment, say what was actually right and wrong about the situation based on what they've said already. And then of those 2 that they have evaluated, then of those, then they're going to present. We make a presentation on one of them and defend their position. Where's the other one?
We need to find 3 room symbols to open the door.
Yes, I know, Sebastian, but where is it? Interesting.
Revelio.
There's one up there, but that's out of the room. That's I assume the next one. Oh. It's behind.
Incendio.
There.
Can't get out of here quick enough.
There we go. Nice. Sidora's diary about withdrawing pain.
Sebastian, a journal entry. We should look for more.
Why couldn't she have kept all her journal entries in one place?
I mean, honestly, she probably did, but something happened. Just a guess.
Incendio.
Oh, goody, it's trolls. Who would have ever thought it's trolls? Can't hear you.
Imperio.
Confringo!
Bombarda.
Confringo!
Protego. Stupefy.
Sendo!
Crucio. Defendo.
Ooh, ouch.
Incendio. Protego.
There we go. All right.
Nice teamwork.
Nothing like an angry troll to bring friends together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's legit. A lot of spiders that this troll killed for us. Thanks, troll.
Revelio.
Alright, I assume I have to reparo this.
That troll certainly made a mess of things. Debris everywhere.
Reparo.
Yeah, there we go. Cool. Anyway,
That was a piece
that
of
is some of my sort of course design, and also a sort of look into how I gradually change and develop my course design as well. That this isn't just a sort of I do all this at once and then I have a semester's class that I set down in stone kind of thing. It's more like that I begin doing things and then I gradually will change those things as changes need to be made. If changes need to be made. That I found to be a problem, basically, or I guess that is an attempt to solve a problem having to do with these case analyses being put off until the very end of the semester. Which, I mean, I could just do them, like spread out the due dates more throughout the semester, but I figure this is an opportunity to make it into more of a gradual step-by-step process, which is also an incentive for students to actually do the work more so. Students are more likely to actually do the damn work if it's in stages. If I have to do assignment A to get assignment B done, etc. About healing her father. They don't like her having done this.
Levioso.
A journal entry. Isadora was here.
Accio. Wingardium Leviosa. Levioso.
Okay. Which way? Yeah, potions. All right.
I'm out of breath after all of those stairs, but the view, well worth it.
This, whatever this is, it's very cool. I guess whatever this was, it's very cool.
Another barrier. We can blast through it, I'm certain.
Can we? Sense of purpose and the number of souls I've been helping. Being to store what I cannot use in the moment.
This journal entry sounds worrisome.
This can't be a dead end. Must be another floor above us.
Yeah, there is.
Bombarda.
Almost as good as if I'd done it myself.
Move.
This place can't have belonged to only Isadora.
But the triptych pointed us here.
Incendio.
What's this? Oh. Nice. Head back up. Oh, my gear slots are full. Okay. Get rid of some junk, shall we? That hat is better than what I have, but not by very much, so we're probably not going to use it. Let me see. Basically, I just get rid of things in ascending order of rarity because they're sellable. In case that wasn't clear. Anyway. Got some challenges, though. We can actually unlock some things. Quidditch Captain's Gloves. Merlin Trials. Oh, we got more storage for our gear. Now. Oh, gosh. Cool cape. Fashionable dress robes. What we got here? Ooh, we've maxed out our Protego shielding. The Demiguise mask. That still looks ridiculous. All right, let's see.
Revelio.
So we've got 1, 2. The third one's got to be about here, right?
Another rune symbol. Feel as if I should be fluent in runic language by now.
Bombarda.
Yeah. That's it, right? Yeah, there we go. I had to come back to it.
Could this be another area
Revelio
created?
Isadora
guess.
must have honed her skill with ancient magic here.
Okay. How could I have been so terribly wrong? The headmistress won't help me. Try to make her understand. She, like the others, is blind to the possibilities of what I can do. I've come to learn that I can rely on no one. But I am a more powerful witch than I have ever been, and I know that it's due to the work I'm doing. I shall not allow my magic to lie dormant as the keepers do. How I despise that ridiculous name, as if keeping power all to themselves is something to be lauded. I confess I've begun to wonder if I will ever find another in my lifetime with whom I can share this work. If I do not, then I shall find solace in the knowledge that I have left them a trail to follow, a path from which they can learn. Perhaps they will do what I cannot, heal the world.
Revelio. I know from the memories I've seen that the Keepers and Isadora didn't see eye to eye on the use of ancient magic.
I wish you could see one of her memories.
Maybe we will. Heal the world. That sounds just so terribly ominous. For good reason.
The final canvas piece to the triptych. We've done it.
Isadora should not have had to keep all this secret.
I know from the memories I've seen that the Keepers and Isadora didn't see eye to eye on the use of ancient magic. But I don't understand why she seems to have gone to such great lengths to tell her story without their knowledge.
I wish you could see one of her memories.
So do I.
Perhaps completing the triptych will shed more light on all of this.
Maybe. Celtic attire. Okay. Back to the Undercroft, I suppose.
I cannot believe the journey this triptych took us on.
This is it.
Don't keep me in suspense. Go on, place it.
All right, let's see. What do we got here? Interesting.
Another pensive.
This is what we've been chasing.
I wonder.
What is it?
Let's find out.
We were taking Sebastian with you. Oh, okay.
I cannot bring my brother back, Father. But I can give you peace. Please, have a seat.
Isadora, we are all most intrigued to hear.
We're ready.
We already saw this from the other
Something to show
perspective.
you.
Interesting.
Father, these are my colleagues from Hogwarts. Father hasn't spoken since my brother died. On my travels, I confirmed that which I've always believed. That we have the power to take away pain.
Isadora. What have you done?
I took his pain.
Thank you.
There's a little glitch in the memory there.
That worked.
It did indeed.
Of course it did. It's goblin silver.
I need something much bigger.
All right. It would help if you could tell me more about what it is you're storing.
Magic. Left over from a spell I devised to remove pain, but if used correctly, its power can be used to do even more good.
Why would you want to store such magic away?
I only need to keep it safe until I can convince my colleagues of its worth. Magic like this unnerves some.
Not everyone's ready to wield such power.
Perhaps not, but someone will be.
She took away the pain. I knew it. I knew there was a way to help Anne.
Something isn't right, Sebastian.
What do you mean? You saw what she did.
No, not the memories, the portrait. I think the reason Isadora hasn't appeared is because she can't.
I don't follow.
We have seen that view before. The abandoned home in Felgroth, the destroyed painting, it was her.
So someone destroyed a bit of enchanted canvas, but we found the memory.
Yes, you're right.
We saw what she wanted us to see. We saw what she could do, what you can do.
But I don't know how to do what Isadora did.
Well, then you shall learn. The Keepers can teach you.
I'm not sure that they would. The Keepers believe that removing someone's ability to feel pain, it's a highly complicated, unpredictable form of magic. One that should be wielded with great care, if at all.
If at all? You've overcome all of their challenges. You've more than proven yourself. You can wield it. You have the ability. Please, talk to the Keepers. If not for me, then for Anne.
Why did the Keepers want to keep Isadora quiet? Why destroy her portrait?
Interesting. There's something more to this. I mean, look, I don't know if there needs to be more to it. The taking away of pain in this manner is already unnatural, is one way of putting it. Right? It's a kind of panacea, if you want to think of it that way, right? So this kind of comes to the question that we talked about this in the Discord a little bit earlier this week, as to what pain actually is. Right? So, don't worry, I'll fix it. Pain
Reparo.
is a couple of different things. Primarily, all right. So pain is primarily a sensation, and so it is a passion, sensation, or a passion, or that which is it is part of our sensory apparatus, but it's part of the intellectual part of our sensory apparatus mostly. It is the experience of something wrong, something being amiss in ourselves in some way or another, whether that is emotionally or physically or both. Right? So to to say that I am in pain, or that I am experiencing pain, is to say that I perceive something is going wrong, right? So if I were to say, hit my elbow on the table and it were to hurt, right? What the experience of pain is, the neurons firing, all that stuff, all that ouchy stuff, the stuff that hurts. What that is my mind perceiving something that has gone wrong in my arm, right? I am perceiving that there is an injury here. What that is to say is that my arm is not functioning as it should, and that there's damage there. Okay, so emotional pain, sorrow, sadness, that kind of stuff, the kind of that Morganic's father was experiencing, is a kind of parallel indicator, an indicator that not that there's something wrong with the body, but there's something wrong with the soul. That there is something, that there's something missing where it ought to be. In this case, the love of his son. At the loss of his son, it causes him emotional pain. Now, you can wallow in that, just like you can be debilitated by a minor, right? So the extreme pain of a minor injury, you can be debilitated by it. And so there is a use for numbing or reducing levels of pain if you're already aware of what the information is conveying to you, or what information it's conveying to you. But in a case of emotional pain, that isn't necessarily the case, right? Insofar as the emotional pain is involuntary, it is telling you something. That there is something grievously wrong with what you're pained by in the world. Now, the contrast point to this is if you choose to wallow in your pain, if you choose to embrace that pain rather than to either move on for it or reject it or to set it aside or to move through it, right? If you choose to wallow in that pain, then you're focusing on the sensation rather than what the sensation is of, right? And that's wrong, right? That is a kind of psychological problem. That's not what was going on here, right? The pain was so significant. It doesn't seem like it was because he chose to wallow in it. And even if that were the case, to take that away from somebody is still to unnaturally take the choice, to take their voluntary free choice away from them. But if it's not, if it isn't voluntary, if this really is such just dire... Excuse me, sorry. If this really is such dire emotional pain that he cannot escape, then taking it away is numbing oneself to what is wrong rather than making anything right. Right? So this is the similarity on the physical side to something like chronic insensitivity to pain, which I've talked about before in other contexts, that chronic insensitivity to pain is a debilitating neurological illness. Is where you can't experience pain. You cannot feel physical pain. Right? And this can be congenital or later onset. And if it's congenital, if people have this insensitivity from birth, it's almost always fatal, because small children depend on pain to know what is injuring them and to know when to communicate distress. Right? So if a child, if a little baby hurts himself, he's going to cry because it hurts, and that way his parents know something needs to be fixed or something needs to be seen to. But if he's not going to cry because it doesn't hurt, then he's just got an injury there, and his parents have no way of tending to it, and so the kid can die. Right? The same thing can apply to adults who have this, right? Who if you either survive childhood with it or if it's later onset, usually due to some kind of brain injury or very traumatic experience or something like that, that if you can't cognize or perceive pain, but injuries are still happening to you, then you can injure yourself and then cause those injuries to get worse and worse and worse by not treating them properly, which is extremely, extremely dangerous. And so living with this, if you are going to live with it cognizantly, if you're going to very carefully live with this, you essentially need to be aware of every little action that your body is doing. Everything that could possibly have resulted in an injury, you need to be able to check for, like very carefully, deliberately check for to see if you've been injured. Right? Because if you've been injured and haven't noticed it, it could get worse very quickly without you noticing it. Right? So for example, if you were to accidentally bump into something, right? If I just did that, just barely an impact, but if I didn't notice that, say I'd gotten a gash on the underside of my arm, and I only noticed it 20-30 minutes later and it had been bleeding, well, I've suddenly lost a lot of blood, and I have now a lot to catch up with, a lot of injury to catch up with, and it's gotten way worse than it could have or needed to if I'd gotten a little gash on my arm, and rather than every once in a while just kind of bumping it and making the bleeding worse, if I had, put something on it to prevent the bleeding. Right? A minor injury can get out of hand very quickly if you don't treat it very quickly, especially if you're continuously making it worse. So again, pain is information. And without that access to that information, it's not like we don't suffer from injury. It's just that the injuries don't hurt. And that's far worse. It is far worse to suffer an injury and have it not hurt than to have it hurt when you are in fact suffering something. Now, pain receptors misfiring, that's very bad. Right? That is to be really strict and technical, it's still telling you something is wrong. It's just telling you that the wrong thing is wrong. Right? So if you're getting like what is that? There's a neurological disorder where you'll get pain in parts of your body that are not injured, and it's really nasty because it's not injured. But this tells you that there is something wrong, in this case with your neurology, your nervous system, and so it tells you that, well, here's something wrong that needs to be seen to. It's just that the signals are misfiring, so to speak. Alright, I found one of Randrock's drills in a mine near the shore. I intend to destroy it. I'm tired of trying to reason with him. Oh, you're welcome to join me, but if I don't see you there, I'll reach out when I return. I have something to give you. Interesting. Okay, from Lodgok. That does seem to be the only quest at the moment, but I'm going to untrack it. For now, I'm going to see what else there might be around. See if there are any other quests around the castle. Portrait in the back of the library, eh? Ooh, I missed a Depulso challenge. I'm not going back and doing that now, though. My god, no. No way. No. No. What's this? One-eyed witch passage. South wing? No. Okay, cool. So let's do that. Portrait in a pickle. This is with the very, very ominous musical sting. Beautiful snowy courtyard. Alright, let's go to the library and check this out.
Somebody help! I've been kidnapped!
Sir, are you all right?
Okay.
You seem to be in some distress.
All right? Do I look all right? I've been kidnapped!
How can you be kidnapped when you're right here?
What sort of question is that? Of course I'm right here. I've more than one frame. Do you only have one home?
It's my other frame. It's
What are you,
stolen.
poor?
And by students, no less. They paid filthy thieves to steal my other frame.
Oh dear. That sounds awful.
Well, awful is exactly what Astoria Cricket is. She's behind all of this.
Quite the accusation.
She and her friends were moaning about me of all the nerve. Then I heard a plot to enlist a gang of good-for-nothings to have me stolen from the Three Broomsticks. That's where my other frame hung. A hovel of a place. Though I suppose one could do worse. I once knew a portrait who ended up in the Hog's Head. No one's heard from him since.
Right. So back to your frame.
Ah, yes. There I was, powdering my wig, and the next thing I knew, I was being manhandled by rogues and carried off. As if I can afford not to be at my post. I do important work for the headmaster, and I need my other frame back at the Three Broomsticks.
Interesting.
What do you mean you do important work for the headmaster?
Let's just say I overhear quite a bit in Serona's fine establishment, and the headmaster likes to know all about it. He's come to count on me in this regard. Reminds me of my prefect days.
Interesting.
I don't suppose you have any idea where your stolen
Interesting.
frame was taken. Can you see anything from it?
I most certainly can. They brought me to a ruin of all places. Some crumbling atrocity surrounded by water from the sound of it. Oh, I do also recall seeing the coast on the way.
Okay.
Just who is Astoria Cricket, and what would she want with your frame?
She's a fourth-year troublemaker, that's who. She and her band of hoodlums discuss all sorts of misdeeds right under my nose, and then resent me for overhearing them.
I see.
I can only assume they took my frame in some misguided attempt to punish me for doing my job.
All right.
I could look into
Sure.
the matter for you.
Oh, would you? How marvelous. Do it quickly, though, won't you? The place they took me to is quite beneath me.
I understand. I really do. I understand completely. Excuse me. All right. Okay, so let's continue on along. So, by the way, I should mention now, next week, I will obviously not be streaming Monday night, as it is Christmas. That also means that I have a fourth Advent thumbnail, but it will be wasted. It will unfortunately go to waste. Because the fourth week of Advent is 1 day long. Whoa. Jeez. It's literally just Sunday since Christmas Eve. But oh well, that's fine, I suppose. So yeah, no fourth stream of Advent. And I am not, like I said, I'm not planning on streaming on Christmas evening, as distinct from Christmas Eve. So I will probably be streaming on Wednesday again next week. That's the plan.
Revelio.
Ooh. Yeah, so I am planning on continuing along Hogwarts Legacy. I should probably, if I had a guess, I would say we have probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 more streams. We should probably finish this game by the end of January, give or take. The ending sequences of this game go relatively quickly once you're near the end. Just because there are fewer side quests that show up late, given that we've pretty much done all of them as we've been moving along. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hey, Astoria.
Revelio.
But yeah, so those are plans. After this game, I'm leaning towards, as I've said before, assuming my emulation software works properly, I'm leaning towards Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. Possibly Wind Waker, but that game is wildly side questy, and it might be a bit irritating to stream. I don't know.
Astoria Cricket?
That
We'll see.
depends. Am I in trouble?
Ferdinand Pratt thinks you should be. Says you stole his frame.
I wouldn't call it stolen. Relocated's more like it. How do I put this?
Ah, boy.
Ferdinand Pratt is a postulant boil, and he's lucky I didn't have him sealed in a wall.
Jesus.
Surely he can't be that terrible, can he?
All he does is spy on students in here and report back to the headmaster. Sometimes, if there's nothing to report, he'll make it up. I spent 4 hours in detention last week, all because he told Black that I was planning to drain the lake, whatever that means. It was the last straw. He and his frame had to go.
May I ask where you put him?
Well, I didn't put him anywhere. The frame is likely with the fine gents I paid to snatch it. They camp in a ruin by the coast. I just wanted it far enough away that I'd never have to think about Ferdinand Pratt ever again.
You do know he's screaming in the library as we speak.
Oh, for the love of Merlin. If you ask me, he's got nothing to scream about. I could have had him put in the hogshead. The pampered Pratt would have hated it. Grimy walls, smell of goats. And the patrons, they eat snooty princes like Ferdinand for dinner. But what's done
Why don't
is done.
you just
he
go
isn't
there
here anymore, and if
to
I
get
were
in
you,
trouble?
I should enjoy it.
Okay,
Lovely chatting with you.
all right, well, let's go and find his other portrait, shall we? Let's sell our junk first, shall we? Let's do that first before we go trundling on off. Huh. This isn't... Huh. Okay. This isn't where I thought it was. I thought that was the side shop to, Laterags. Where is any shop? Okay, I guess I can...
You're
sell here.
back. Nice to see you again.
Hello. I might hang on to it. How much better is it? That one's only increased by 1, not worth it. I'll hang on to these, I suppose. I assume that one's not much better, but I don't know.
Thanks for stopping by.
That's
Hope to
fine.
see you again.
Okay. Let's see. Do I have any quests to pick up here in Hogsmeade? Doesn't seem like it. No. Okay. Anything I still need to do in this North Valley? I mean, man, there's a ton of stuff. Oh, that's actually a thing I can just go and do. Tomb of Treachery. Lodgok's Loyalty. Get all the way down here. Yeah, I think I'll just fly down here. Oh, or yeah, no, let's talk to Natty first. She's in the Great Hall. And then in the cave by Irondale. Yeah, that'll do. Excuse me. Let's see. Natty wants to meet in the Great Hall. I have come upon a difficult time. Need a friend. Oh, okay. Oh, sure. From Poppy. Are you familiar with Irondale, South Castle? I think the cave where Doran wants us to find the Moonstone may be located near there. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's do that, shall we? All right. Anyway.
Hogsmeade, here I come.
So I should also mention, of course worth mentioning, that I have, you'll know this if you've been following me on either Facebook or in Discord or Twitter, for that matter, if you are, you've noticed me on Twitter. I have picked up a book recently, an excellent book so far. I'm looking forward to actually doing a nice full review once I've gotten closer to finishing it. Maybe finishing it. I may, if this is possible, if this is plausible, I may even want to do a book study or discussion or maybe even interview or something about the thing when the time comes, once I'm done with the thing. But I've been reading it so far, and that is this. That is Tom Wood's Diary of a Psychosis. How public health disgraced itself during COVID mania. It is phenomenal. If you were politically aware to any degree in the last 4 years, three full years, I suppose? Yeah, something like that. 3.5, 4 years, give or take. Since 2020, essentially. If you've been politically aware during that time, you probably recall, to some degree, all of the absolute madness that we were all dragged through. What this book does is remind the reader, in careful detail, day by day in some cases, or at least week by week, what exactly was done. How exactly the madness all went. Because I will say, and this is my experience as well, having now read back through this, it is easy to forget a lot of the precise details of much of the madness that we all had to go through. And what Tom does is he goes through basically his newsletters. And he put all of his newsletters from the time that we're discussing COVID just in order. Going through one by one by one by one. Briefly. He's got, say, a newsletter here. Another one here. That sort of thing. With some edits and annotations. And it basically goes through what we knew when, what we were saying, and what they were doing to us. Through 2020, all through 2020, all through 2021, all through 2022, and into this year. And man, it is really something to consider what we all went through and what we were all dragged through. And a lot of the details we have, I know, all forgotten because I was highly involved with all of this. I was shouting, as you may remember, if you go back through my streams at the time, I was shouting about all of this, in some cases quite literally shouting about all this, from the same time that Tom was. And there's a lot that I had forgotten. So it is absolutely worth remembering exactly what we went through, and the dragging us through the process. First of all, it is not the book is not psychologically pleasant. Because it will bring you back to what for a lot of us was some of the darkest times of our lives. And times when we were made to feel crazy. To the maximal extent possible by some of the most powerful people in the world. And man, it is rough to see. What really struck me about it, one thing more than anything else, what struck me about it is what and how much we all knew and how early we called BS on it. On all of this. As early as March, some of his newsletters were pointing out the fact that this was obviously nonsensical, and he was pointing to data, information, definitive arguments that all of the pandemic response was utter nonsense from March of 2020, and we still went through months, and in some places years, all of which again is documented in the book. I cannot recommend it highly enough. If you want any historical record of this period, you want to go back through this, and I recommend doing it already, but even more so, this will be immensely valuable in another 5 years, in another 10 years, in another 100 years. It'll be hard to find a better primary historical source for such an important period of our history than this. So again, get it. Pick it up. Buy the book. You can find it diaryofcovid.com is his sort of landing page for it. You can also just get it on Amazon, which is what I did. He also has like a free ebook sort of companion to go along with it, as well as some other material as well. So check that out. I haven't actually looked into all that yet, so I can't speak to it, but it's there, so go for it. But yeah, absolutely. The book comes highly recommended by me, at least, at the very, very least.
Than others.
But yeah, absolutely. It is 100% worth reading. It, again, forewarning, it will not put you in a good and happy psychological place. Just like that time period did not put most of us in a good psychological place. But it is worth remembering.
Natty.
Again, Diary of a Psychosis by Thomas Woods.
There are times when my father's absence drifts to the back of my mind, and I feel peace for a day or two. But this is not one of those times. I miss him. I miss running with him. I miss Matibeleland. He should still be here. And it's my fault that he isn't.
Soren's a little bit autistic. He's gonna insist here.
It's not your fault, Natty. There's nothing you could have done to prevent it.
That is what my mother says. But he died protecting me. And I cannot help but feel guilty over it. I find myself reliving the moment more often than I would like. I believe I would feel less helpless if I could truly put an end to Harlow and the rest of Rookwood's miserable lot. Each day they remain free, they do more damage, leaving people like Archie Bickle to suffer the consequences.
I agree, Natty. We'll get them. I've never seen someone so committed to a cause.
Thank you. I believe we will get them. Beginning with Harlow.
Oh?
Thank you for speaking with me. It was very helpful.
Okay. Glad I could help. But then, now we go offwards to do this one with the centaurs. Let's go meet Poppy. Away we go, all the way down to Irondale. Birds. I'm just gonna follow this bird. You see it? Oh god, I lost track of it. Where'd it go? Sneaky bird. Wow, that was... Right. Anyway. Like I said, Diary of Psychosis, it is a phenomenal book so far. Like I said, I'm going to do a full review of the thing at some point when I'm done reading it. Which right now I'm only about a fifth of the way through or something like that. So I've got a lot more to read, and it is relentless going through, like I said, day by day or week by week, what we all had to go through then. And another thing that I just had not remembered was how long it was that, because Tom's from Florida, or not from Florida, he lives in Florida. And so something that I didn't realize or I didn't remember was how long it was before Florida was the sanest place in the world. Because at first, I had forgotten this. I had forgotten that that DeSantis had locked down as hard or harder than some of the worst governors in the country. And so it had slipped my memory that things were not sane the whole time here.
Bombarder.
So
Revelio.
that is absolutely worth remembering again, just like the rest of it. That while it was wildly important that things went back to normal here as quick as they did. Quick as they did was not instantaneous. It was still months during which, like, even we here in Florida, like, restaurants were closed. Which is insane. Absolutely insane.
This could prove dangerous if
but
we're
hey,
not careful.
You know, it's
Revelio.
Up there, huh? Oh, there. I see. Lace doily. Locals say this doily was left as a tribute to a beloved house elf who dreamed one day of wearing it. Oh. That's sweet. Anyway, yeah, it's that's actually something, like I said, that I almost forgot. That Florida was not always sane. That we had a period there where things were looking dire even here. Jack-o'-lanterns. Wrong season for those. That's fine though. Whatever. Still cool. Yeah, I'll say as well, like,
these rocks have seen better days.
Despite what I just said, and despite the fact that Florida wasn't perfect, and we did lock down far longer than we needed, far longer than was in any way reasonable, or even justifiable. The fact that Florida opened when it did, that DeSantis did not stay closed longer, was really
Wingardium Leviosa.
Quite literally a lifesaver in a lot of cases. And by a lot of cases, I mean in some very direct, very literal cases. Like, there were lives that were very literally and directly saved. There we go. By opening up when we did. Or as early as we did. Again, I wish it had been earlier. And more people would have been far better off if we either had done nothing, or had just done the 2 weeks thing that was the promise from the beginning, but it was not the case. But the fact that we did open up when we did, and we were able to do things like, and I don't mean just like go to restaurants. I mean do things like, say, elective medical treatments, and maybe more importantly, medical screenings, which in a lot of places around the country were canceled or indefinitely postponed. The number of lives that saved is staggering. And the personal impact of it is to me even more staggering, because I mean it's worth noting that I won't go into too many details for medical privacy kind of reasons, but I will say the fact that Florida opened up when it did and was not locked down longer, it literally saved the lives of both of my children's grandfathers.
Oh, I can't thank you enough.
My father and my father-in-law were saved.
He's resting at the moment.
Like, their lives were
but
literally
seems to be in good
saved.
spirits.
They're alive today because Florida was open when it was.
He's lucky I found him in time.
We both are. If I'd known
So?
what you were planning, well, let's just say I'm desperately glad you're all right. Rookwood's criminals aren't to be trifled with. Promise me you'll stay safe. Your bravery is to be admired, but taking unnecessary risks, well...
Don't worry, Mrs. Rabe. I can take care of myself.
Yes, I believe you can.
I'll risk what I
Thank
want to
you
risk,
again
damn it.
for everything.
Yeah, it's a
I miss the old Quidditch goalpost.
hell of a
Hello,
thing
Memora.
hell of a thing to say is like, well, if it saves just one life, well, guess what? Opening up saved more than one life. Clearly and straightforwardly. And so it's easy to forget, for some people at least, that these policies have costs. That there are in fact trade-offs. That these bizarre lockdown,
It's good
these
to see you, my
absurd
friend.
lockdown
If it
ideas
wasn't for you,
are while they may in some cases save or help some people,
There's no telling what lies in wait for me in there. I
they
should
also
dismount
hurt
here.
and kill other people. So,
You made it.
not to mention the fact that it's insane. It's just insane. The rationale behind it was known to be ridiculous from very, very early on, and that's another thing that this book just does so well pointing out, is that we knew that the lockdown policies were ridiculous from very early on, and we were saying it the whole time. And well, we meaning our society kept on doing it anyway.
I take it this means
There's
you
nothing
have some
we can
luck
do
at
to
the
stop them.
library.
It took a few hours and some eye-watering maps, but I think this might be the cave Doran told us about.
There's
Impressive.
some big bees.
Especially with how little information he gave us.
Well, I'm still not sure this is the cave, but it did seem the most promising. I stumbled across some folklore about a cave in the area that people avoid. Seemed the perfect place to hide something of value. It's a bit of a leap, I confess, but might a mysterious item such as a special moonstone be hidden in an equally mysterious cave? I think I'm desperate for anything at this point.
Did you discover why people avoid this cave?
Ridiculous, really. Rumour was that the cave
Is it?
drove people mad.
Oh,
I couldn't find any account by someone who had been in the cave, though. So either it is a rumour, or anyone who went in wasn't in any state to speak of it afterwards.
great.
Well, we're here. We might as well have a look.
Agreed.
Okay, let's go mad. Yay! I've been sane a while, and change is
I wonder
good.
if you'd go blind from staring directly at a moonstone.
I've been sane a while. Change is good. Speaking of, I haven't watched Firefly in too long. Damn good show.
You don't think the rumors about the cave are true, do you?
I suppose we'll find out, won't we?
Spooters. Huh. I can blast that open, clearly. Not just like that, I actually have to really do it.
Revelio.
Hmm. Not much of use. Okay, let's head on down. I mean, the rumors are absolutely true, and we'll see why. I'm remembering this now.
It's another aggressive one.
Ow! Jesus.
Defender.
What is
Flonk.
going on with them?
They're angry.
Accio. Incendio.
Uh-huh. One of those things.
Bombarda.
Okay.
Incendio.
That didn't help. Huh. Disney. Or not grass. Was it? Disney, yeah.
Lumos.
Lumos.
You don't need to. Thanks, though. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Depulso.
Ah, all right. What's with the really, really, really ominous music? Okay. Ooh, flippers.
Voipers.
I beg your pardon?
This must be how the rumor about the cave started. The Fwooper's song is said to drive anyone who hears it mad.
Right. You know, I have a few of them. Just kind of in the room of requirement. Do you think I'm okay?
Accio.
Yeah. Spiders.
If the Moonstone is here and so are Fwoopers, I wonder if it's being protected.
Accio.
No? Guess not.
Revelio.
No, I can't blast through that wall either. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Huh.
Why am I not surprised? First the Fwoopers and now this.
She's saying foipers? Okay.
Revelio.
Yeah, okay, so
We need
circles
to find those spinners.
and the Triskelion. There we go. Ooh, cool. Okay. Swirls and circles. Circles. And that's Triskelion. Where's the swirls? Oh, there it is. Aha!
Lumos.
Lumos.
Okay.
Accio.
There, and the circles. No. Just some monies. Okay, fine. Whoops. Triskelion and the swirls.
Lumos.
Lumos.
Come here. Here. There. Okay, so I need...
Depulso.
Nice. Nice.
Another obstacle. No
Hmm.
matter. I'm sure we can work out a way across.
Oh, okay.
Descendo.
Oops.
Accio.
Okay. Another swirly whirly. Wait, I think I could just take the two moths from the previous room, right?
Lumos.
Lumos.
Yeah. Yeah, I can. Okay.
Depulso.
What's it doing? Oh, interesting. Okay.
Merlin,
Lumos.
it's beautiful.
Ah. I see. Okay. Got it. Oh! Okay. Well, that was dumb. Whoops. I fell. He was into the water.
Lumos.
Oh, it went over there. Okay. Fine. Excuse me again. All right.
You did it.
Yep. What? Oh.
I was hoping we wouldn't have to do this again.
Splat!
Flipendo.
Okay.
Petrificus totalis.
What? Why?
Bombarda. Revelio.
Alright, what do we got? Oh yeah, she threw a cabbage. I forgot she's a Hufflepuff. Of course she has cabbages. Okay, wait, what's this? Oh, Doug Bug. A tongue.
Look, where the water's bubbling. How odd.
Should we take a closer look?
You read my mind.
Okay. Interesting. There is no underwater exploration in the game, which, you know, that's fine. That is a whole nother separate system that I understand having to develop that for maybe silly reasons. I get not doing it.
Merlin, it's even more beautiful close up.
Wow.
It's got to be here. I just know it.
Okay.
Given what swoopers are known to do, I never thought I'd be so happy
Revelio.
to see this many of them.
I don't know. I've been listening to them for a while now, and I'm starting to lose my mind.
Very funny. I was just thinking how it's proof that poachers haven't been here, assuming this is where the Moonstone is. Which means we're one step ahead of them.
Yeah. First of all, big assumption, but
We found it!
oh, well, there we go. Never mind.
Well, we found what we came for. Now we just need to bring it to the henge.
Okay. So we got to get out of here.
Well done, Poppy. This did end up being the right cave after all.
A good thing, too. We need every advantage over the poachers if we're to get to the Snidgets first. We should do as Doran suggested and bring
Accidentally
the
iced
Moonstone to the
coffee.
henge.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Shall we?
We shall. If we leave now, we should make it there by nightfall.
All right. On we go.
That's the henge, precisely where Doran said it would be. But now that we're here, I'm not entirely sure how to feel. We knew we were at the cave for the Moonstone, but Doran didn't tell us what to expect when we placed the stone in the henge.
Madness.
I don't think Doran would knowingly send us into danger.
You're right. I suppose I'm worrying over nothing. Let's make
Probably
our way
not.
down.
He did seem like a
We're nearly
relatively
at the end of
nice
this.
centaur. Okay.
I think that's it over there.
How's your Gran doing, by the way?
Nothing keeps Gran down. She set up a caterwauling charm and threatened to make a coat out of the next poacher that set foot on her doorstep. I still feel terrible that I'm the reason they went there.
Surely she'll be pleased you've gone after the Snidgets.
I hope so. Gran understands how important it is to protect those who need it. I think we can safely say we know where the Moonstone goes.
Yeah, looks like it. That is definitely a divot. God, they're freaky looking. Cute, though.
Whoa!
Oh. That was a mooncalf dance. Do you know how rare it is to see even one? They only ever happen under a full moon. Though I suppose the Moonstone allowed it to happen now.
Is the pattern they left behind on the ground normal?
All part of the dance. No one pattern is ever the same, though. We'll need to draw this one to get a better sense of it. Can't wait to tell Gran that I've managed to see not one, but 2 mooncalf dances. She'll be jealous.
You've seen this before?
It was pure luck the first time. I was on Highwing, or I'd never have spotted it. It was the night Well, the night I met Highwing, actually,
I'd love to hear about how you and Highwing met.
I'd actually like you to know. About 5 years ago, Highwing had been captured by poachers. At first, they
He's got a
planned to
bad
sell
habit of
her,
that.
but soon decided they wanted to kill her instead. More money, I suppose.
Which is odd,
I'd
but
finally
okay.
had enough. I freed Highwing and we ran. We'd flown for ages when I spotted mooncalves dancing below and we landed to watch them. It felt like an omen. A good one. A sign that the worst was over.
What do you mean you'd had enough and the worst was over?
You see, the night I freed Highwing was also the night I ran away from home. A poacher camp. I come from a family of poachers.
Merlin? I don't know what to say, Poppy. I can't imagine what that must have been like for you.
I never fitted in. But the older I got, the more apparent it became. Gran tried for years to convince my parents to let me live with her. Suffice it to say, when I left with Highwing, I flew straight for her house.
I assume Gran is not
I'm glad
very
you
proud
escaped.
of her
So
child.
am I. There were so many creatures I was unable to help when I was younger. Now that's all I want to do.
I mean, okay, so one thing I noticed, by the way, this is unrelated to the actual story of what's going on, but it's something that bugs me a little bit, is the use of Merlin as an exclamation, and even in some cases as a sort of substitute religious exclamation. Given that this is, well, first of all, there are religious exclamations in 20th century, in the 20th century Wizarding world, let alone the 19th. It seems that this is another one of those 2023-isms, unfortunately. Maybe one of those 2023 Californianisms that sneaks its way into a past setting. Excising exclamations to God, let's say, which unfortunate, because again, it's one of the more interesting things about Rowling's Wizarding world is that Christianity exists in perfect continuity, in perfect congruity with witches and wizards in that setting. Right? There are like it seems like at least the majority, at least in the UK, of witches and wizards are Christian. I'd probably guess Anglican at this stage. Probably similarly in the late 20th century. But yeah, that is not seen as in any way odd. But that is just sort of course they are, because it's not like they're not like they're dumber. It's not like they're a unique species or anything. No, they're just Englishmen. It's just that they're magical Englishmen. And so I always liked that. I always thought that was really cool, really interesting about Rowling's Wizarding world, is that they're just practically Christians, just like anybody else would be. And particularly, I would think in the sort of late 19th century that would be not just the majority, but almost the uniform. Aside from perhaps a few rare exceptions, that being presumably like foreign exchange students, somebody who might be Hindu because they're from India. But even then, a lot of Indians living in the UK in the 19th century were converts. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think that's something that kind of gets papered over because we don't. In a lot of our media today, we want to sort of excise mentions to Christianity, unfortunately. It's a stark contrast to something that is a much better historical representation of that sort of thing as Kingdom Come Deliverance that we just finished playing a little while ago. What are you going to do? I think that it's unfortunate that there is such a that gets kind of written out of this world to a great degree.
From everything I've seen, you're doing precisely that.
I've had a bit of help. I've never told anyone any of this, but I'm glad that you know. It's nice to have someone to talk about it with.
I mean, there are exclamations going back to the old books of Merlin's beard and things like that, but that's like the same as your average Englishman shouting something about George, King George or something like that, which does happen. Like that's a common enough secularized, I guess, exclamation that is not strictly religious, but referring to by God, something by God, it's should be just as common, but unfortunately, again, it's kind of missing.
What was it like growing up in a family of poachers?
The thing I remember most was how much we moved around, always chasing the next big kill. It was chaotic and dangerous, and nowhere a child should ever grow up.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm glad you told me.
We should get back to Doran. He'll need to see the symbol, and we've got poachers to beat.
Okay.
If you collect the moonstone, I can make a quick drawing of the symbol for Doran.
Sure. You got it?
Are you finished with the drawing?
Just barely. I think the pattern's a
Very
bird.
quick doing.
At least that's what it looks like.
Quick drawing.
Didn't the journal say the key to finding the Snidget lies in the moonlight?
Of course.
Yeah.
That's it. We need to show this to Doran. Not that I'd know where to find him at this hour. Perhaps we should head back to the castle and we can track him down after a good night's sleep.
Sure.
Agreed. I'm ready to leave if you are.
All right. Let's see what else we got. Back to the castle. Okay. What other quests do we have to do tonight? To identify. Not to use, I don't think, but something to identify. Okay, what else we got? I have a collection to unlock. Ah, done with Doug Box. Anything down here? No. Okay. Alright, let's go do the portrait thing, shall we? Oops. Here, let's just quick travel to right nearby. Marnween. It's all very Scottish.
Off on another adventure, are we?
Oh gosh, excuse me. I may call it a bit early tonight. We'll see. I don't have class in the morning. Obviously, we're done for the semester, so I don't have to get up too early. But we'll have to wait and see how long my voice holds out. That's all.
Imperial. Petrificus totalis!
No.
This looks intriguing.
What have you done?
I'm just warming up.
Expelliarmus!
Confringo! You will pay for your...
And I haven't even had my tea yet!
That's the best you can do.
Glacius! Expelliarmus!
To your knees!
I'll get you to watch it.
Where's the bed?
You're no match
Oh.
for me. You've made a great mistake.
Incendio.
No, you don't. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but okay. Yes, we're gonna. I need to collect the frickin' butterflies, don't I? Jesus.
Lumos.
Here.
Revelio.
Oh, there they are, the last ones. Okay. At least they're not that far.
Lumos. Confringo. Lumos.
Okay. Have to walk around.
Merlin himself would be proud.
There we go. Okay. Okay, it seems I've taken out everybody here. Turn into a yarn ball. Alright, let's see. Should I go down here? Or down here?
I should investigate.
So we'll go down here. Or wait, there's a chest here. Do that first. A little bit of money. Wait, what? Yeah. Well, okay then. That was not the right way. My bad. Here we go. This gotta be it. Excuse me again. Okay.
Aloha Mora.
Oh yeah, I need to find more moons. Need to find more moons.
Well, it's about time. It's a wonder there's anything left of me.
Hello there.
Calm down, I'm here now.
Hope you're not being eaten by moths.
Those buffoons outside have been talking about burning me. Me! If they weren't all sharing half a brain, they'd realize I'm worth more to them intact and at the Three Broomsticks.
You're right.
With everything I overhear, I'm a veritable trove of information. Now, don't just stand there. I need to be back by cocktail hour. The place will be like a funeral without me.
Okay, sure.
Let's get out of here then, shall we?
Be sure to carry me carefully, won't you? My pantaloons are already creased.
I understand. I really do.
It's pitch black in here. I shan't stand for this.
Revelio.
Do you want to go back or not? I can always just pitch you into the ocean.
Careful.
I can always just pitch you into the ocean. Okay. Anything else down this way? Alright, there's no more demiguises there. Alright, got the demiguises there. Got the demiguise there. I think that's it. Where are the rest of the demiguises? There's one more in Keenbridge. I wonder where. Okay. The Mind's Eye. Irondale. Taken care of there. Eldcroft, I've got it. The only demiguise. Lower Hogsfield, I've got the only demiguise. There's one in Brockborough. Got the only one in Arranshire. Alright, well, if there's one more... Where was it? Here in Keenbridge. Let's quick travel there. See if we can find that demiguise statue on our way back, and then we'll fly our way back to Hogsmeade.
Seems a pleasant enough little place. Revelio. What do you have in store for me this time?
Merlin trial, but let's hold off on it for the moment.
Aloha Mora.
Here we go. Now, there shouldn't be any... there we go. Any demiguises locked behind level 3 locks. There shouldn't be. If only because that would be counterproductive. Because the whole point of the demiguise quests is to get increasingly powerful versions of Alohomora. And so level 3 being the maximum kind of lock, and therefore the maximum kind of Alohomora spell, it would not quite make sense for there to be one behind... Basically, you would have already finished the quest line, the collections. So it shouldn't matter.
Revelio.
I mean, demiguise. No. Just a crooked old house. Just a crooked little house. That's all. Come on. Let me through.
Alohomora.
Okay. If there are demiguise statues locked behind level 3 locks, that's really, really annoying game design. So that is. Aha.
Mine now, demiguise.
Gotcha. A moon. Tables. I ought to do some redecorating, huh? The room requirement. And maybe I will at some point. Alright, that's all for that. That's all for there. A lot of people. Well, not a lot of people, but a nice handful of people, I'm sure.
You're the student who returned Agnes Coffey's niffler, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Nice to see you again.
Likewise. What can I help you with today?
Let's
What do you have for sale?
sell some things. Maybe buy some things.
What are we
Who
looking
knows?
for today?
Nothing really to buy, so let's do some selling.
This will do just fine. Thank you. Thank you again for delivering those potions. Hopefully Pippin's quality will meet mine and my client's expectations.
Okay, that'll do.
Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it.
Whoops. Didn't mean for that, but okay. Let's see what's in here. Is this a level 2 lock or a 3? Oh, level 2. Oh, level 1. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Let's go in. Hold it steady. Oh, a cat. Hi, cats. Oh, multiple cats. Wonderful. Purr. Oh, speaking of, is mine? No, he's not. Thought he'd be sitting back there. It's not. I've even got my little cat scratch tower down here, but very seldom do they want to come and participate in the stream. Wand handle. Not very nice. I'm gonna stick with the one I got. Okay. Alright. Let's continue on alongwards. Let's just... Oh, jeez. There is a demiguise statue in Brockborough. Well, let's go to Brockborough. Just 800 yards up the road. All right.
Revelio.
Is this... Ooh. Man, there's a lot going on here.
Castle. Must have been quite stately in its time. This looks intriguing.
It's an ancient magic thing. I'm not going to bother with it right now. I could, but... Yeah. There's a deadly foe over there.
Knowing a meat, he's likely studied here.
Okay. There we go. Corvus. E.
Revelio.
Where's that deadly foe? Over here. Oh, right. This is the troll that was the attempted trained troll. That's right. Okay. Never mind. We already took care of this.
It's like a place right out of a storybook.
Okay. Yeah.
Revelio.
Huh. Oh, I see a demiguise. It's right there. Next house over, I suppose.
Accio. Wingardium Leviosa. Accio. Revelio.
Yeah, there we go.
Mine now, demiguise.
Okay.
Accio.
Well, no. Just...
Wingardium Leviosa.
Rather silly that I need to do that, but okay. Oxcart. All right.
Here's a pleasant surprise.
Oh, I'm not gonna bother. What the?
Revelio.
Welcome, welcome. Do have a look around.
One seems like it's probably going to be a bit of an irritation. Munch, munch, munch. And let's see, what's this?
Revelio.
Uh-huh. Tailcoat. Right, and that's
Not sure how I'd fare in a little place like this.
will about do. Continue on along to Hogsmeade. Forget, I suppose this. Runic robe. Ooh, that's cool looking though. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Looks very cool. Yeah, let's take a look. That's very cool looking. It's a cool look. It's too burgundy though. Far too burgundy. New one. It's nice. I like the material, but no. That's it. That's the one. Unidentified. All right. Now, let's move along. Probably. All right. Onward to Hogsmeade. I can jump this a little bit, can't I? Yes. Okay.
Revelio.
Hey, landing platform. Ow. Whoops.
Revelio.
All right. All right, let's fly along the train tracks.
Does it?
Whoop. There we go. I honestly admit I am a little bit disappointed you can't fly your broom around Hogsmeade, but honestly, that would be very rude to do anyway. So, even if you could, it seems like the kind of thing that people would negatively comment upon. Which certainly also means that somebody like Soren would not do it.
Take me out of here immediately! You'll be sorry if I catch a flea. Oh, finally! Back on my wall and more angelic than ever.
There you are. Welcome back.
I'm not usually one to give thanks. There's a sort of servant ring to it. But I suppose some gratitude is in order. As a show of goodwill, I'll exclude whatever misdeeds I hear about you in my reports to the headmaster. And I do hear quite a bit. Now, be off with you. I can't be seen talking to a
Thank you.
student. Go on then, go! It's all right, everyone. I'm back.
I'll say it again. Can't thank you enough for helping to save the village from those trolls.
Okay, that should level me up, yeah? No? Not quite? Not quite. Oh well. Alright, what time we got? 1:36? What do we have? We have the main quest. That's it. Let me see if there's any other little quests or side quests to pick up here. I don't think there are anymore. Let's check Hogwarts. No. No. I might call it a little early, like I mentioned. Again, mostly to rest my voice a bit, because, like I said, I'm on the tail end of recovery from what I assume was the flu. In either case, it was rather unpleasant. Actually, you know what I'll do is I will go to turn in these moons, because I think I now have enough to get level 3 of Alohomora. I'll do that in these last however many minutes. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Do indeed. Also have to figure out how to get in there exactly. How to get to where Godwin is.
Revelio.
I think I can just go into this courtyard, right? Puts me relatively close. I guess relatively close is not very close. Alright, fine. Actually, I'm also wondering if I have all of the Daedalian keys. I might have actually gotten them all. In which case I should go back to the Slytherin common room. Well, you know. I've got 20 minutes. I can do both of those things.
Another selection for you all.
Hello, Mr. Moon.
Oh,
Oh, greetings. Any luck removing some more of those demiguise statues?
I actually have some moons for you.
Dear me, you have been busy. Incredible. Thank you.
These sound
You're ready
so
for the
slimy.
final Alahamora lesson. With this knowledge, no lock shall ever stand in your way. You have done all I asked.
Nice.
I only wish I knew who put those statues everywhere in the first place. Alas. If you do find more, please feel free to remove them. You'll be doing your caretaker a huge service. And if I ever find out who the bully is behind this cruel trick, I shall let you know. Thank you once again.
So yeah, this does actually
assistance and tenacity.
escalate. I don't know if escalate, but it does get resolved. Alahamora 3.
Alahamora, no lock is unbreakable, but do feel free to keep finding demiguise statues and removing those moons.
Yeah. Wait to hear from Gladwood Moon. Yeah, there is more to this quest. It's not as... Yeah, let's do that. It's not just as simple as we'll do that and now it's just like a little collection quest. There is more to it. There is actually some real story resolution, which is fun. It's a nice little thing. It's definitely one of those where it goes back to his history at Hogwarts. So we'll see that when we see that. It's a neat one. It's a neat little nice resolution. Okay, down here worth looking at. No, let's head over. Get back to the Slytherin common room, which incidentally I don't think I've seen decorated for Christmas yet. I haven't really paid much attention to it, to its decorations. Whereas, man, the rest of the castle just really goes ham. Really just going ham for Christmas decorations. It's just the trees and the garlands and everything. So nice. The Kelpie. The Kelpie rider. Very cool. Ah. What is this? Oh, the scriptorium. Right. Right. Alright, let's see.
Another house token for the house chest.
What do we got in here? Is that it?
This Daedalian Keys challenge is coming along nicely.
Did I get all of them?
Here we go. The last
I
house
did.
token. Time to see what's inside.
It's very strange that I don't actually have to do the combination, the sequence.
Thanks goes to the former headmistress, Eupraxia Mole.
What
All
are you
right,
up to
let's try this on, shall we? Let's see. Not a house fanatic robe. This one. Slytherin relic uniform. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. I don't know though. It's really nice, but it's not as great for Soren. I actually kind of like. Well, first of all, let's see. That is classy. Not with that robe, not with that scarf. But I think I still like the tailored tailcoat best for Soren. That is very nice. I will say that's really nice. Very shiny, but no. No, let's go with let's stick with the tailored tailcoat. Let's stick with it. I hate to say we went through all that effort for that, but no, still better. All right, let's just wander around the common room a little bit. Let's have a look, see how it is, see how Christmassy it might be, and then we'll wrap it for the night. Like I said, we'll wrap it a little bit early. Well, it's not too much. There's the nice garlands, the nice wreaths, one nice Christmas tree. But it's just the one. Well, it's a couple. It's a couple of nice Christmas trees, I suppose. I will say, it's not as decorous as the other common rooms. I do have to say, I think that the Slytherin common room might be my least favorite of them. Music's glorious, though. That underwater sort of bossa nova kind of thing. It's era inappropriate. It's not right for the late 19th century, but it's so nice. Anyway. All right, like I said, that is all the time that my voice has to deal with. So thank you all so much for joining me. I had a wonderful time. I will see you all after Christmas. So until then, have a wonderful and blessed rest of Advent. And have a Merry Christmas. I'll see you all next week. Until then, I don't have too much else coming out soon, just because it is Christmas coming up, so I don't have a lot on my plate. I don't have a lot of plans for videos right now. But keep an eye out. I've got some ideas. I've got some plans coming up in the subsequent weeks. Hopefully before the next semester begins, I'll have a video or two out for you guys. Otherwise, though, so keep an eye out. Keep a lookout. See what you got. Pick up Diary of a Psychosis. I'm not sponsored or anything like this, obviously, but check it out. Excellent book that I cannot recommend highly enough. But otherwise, thank you all so much for joining me. I had a wonderful evening. I hope you did too. Have a wonderful Christmas. I will see you after. And until then, remember, don't be safe. Be well. And more importantly, be good. Good night, everyone.